is day 616 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. By the sponsor, upcoming share or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. We very greatly appreciate it. Today we're doing Siman Shin Samech Gimel, which will be in for a while. This is Zion to Tes Vav. Zion. We're talking about the what's necessary on the fourth side of a mobile, the open side. If there's a little bit of a wall left on the fourth side, which is 10 foot high, Olam Mishim Lechi works counts as a Lechi. Uvad, Sheyev Arukh of Tefach, as long as it's a Tefach wide. Why? Even though if you're putting up a Lechi from scratch, it doesn't have any sheer width. There's a hecker when you set it up there. But that which is left from the wall, is not considered to be hecker, but it's less than a tefach, which goes out and see the gimel b'chotzer. Mishabur actually is mekel. Mishabur says the chotzer also doesn't have to be tefach, and here also doesn't have to be tefach. So Mishabur is more mekel here. He says that as whatever remains of the wall, even a mashu, is considered to be sufficient. Nevertheless, by lechi, which came into being automatically, like a tree grew there or something, the kosh kamoshi's bar, which is kosh as we shall see, ain't such tefach, do not require tefach. Kamoshem mipneatzvos, it stands on its own. Minkra milsa, it is clear that it is a lechi. But furthermore, the came into being she's mukolom me'er b'shash kamoshi's bar. Besides, since you have to rely on it from Erev Shabbos actively, so therefore it's as if they put it up deliberately. As he wrote in brackets, nirali. That's what seems to be the case. Ches lechi the maruchin shaba b'chazka yisaker a lechi which if the wind blows on it strenuously, it's going to be uprooted. It's not a lechi. The dafka ruach mitzur. It's only about specifically a prevalent wind. But if a prevalent wind will not dislodge it, even though a wind which is not prevalent, in other words, a rare strong wind will uproot it, but it's not a problem. Here it says too, nearly. It doesn't mean necessarily that it's going to be uprooted, but rather it sways in the wind. It's not lucky because is no good. But the dafka, we've seen in this past, right? Dafka nidu chazak, only strong swaying. Kanfei lonos, like the branch of the tree, should be snadim heina, which sway this way and that, below hefsek, without any interruption. But a small amount of shaking, that's not a problem. Mishnah does not make that distinction. Arukh HaShulchan does. Again, he says nearly, and it says Ashkasam Magav Rambashim. Okay, good to know. Magav Ram wrote here. It's not relevant to this simon. Test. Like it can't be more than 3 tefachim away from the wall. Some say time for the shlubad also have some say it's in order that there should not be the airspaces on both sides of the lechi should not cancel it. The principle of Asya B'Yar Hagisa Mabatole. The airspace on both sides cancels the lechi. Pisak Shalechi Racham Mishlosh, but according to this, if the lechi is thicker than wider than 3 mutzah, it's okay. Came with Omer Ruba because then it's Omer Ruba. This Asya B'Yar Hagisa Mabatole is only if the airspace on both sides are larger than the lechi itself. But if the lechi itself is 3 tefachim wide, and then it's going to be Omer Meruba between it and more than 3 tefachim wide. It's going to be more Omer Meruba between it and the side wall. Usually in that time, and a hecker, but some say that when it's distant from the side wall, it's not a hecker. The Avagav lechi mishum b'chitzach moshi's bar. Lechi should be good because it's a wall. Come vade duhu gam hecker, but it also has to be for a hecker. It's both. So therefore, visa aparach of harbe puzzle. According to this, even if it's the very wide plank or something, it's still puzzle. Where it's more than 3 tefachim away from the wall. V'chenikar, and that's the primary psak. Kenkos well tasteless. Tasteless about the way that Yud in Erevin. Yud came lechi and so shir b'ovi rochvo, since the lechi does not require any dimensions in its width, in its thickness or its width. Even if you made it from broken pieces, the shibah shvarim and broken pieces, it's kosher. So even made it with sticks, with stones protrude from the wall. Zulamal mizu one on top of each other. Pachos mishlosha, if there's less than 3 tefachim between each level of stones, havi lechi. Imyeshka asor tefachim b'gofa, as long as it's 10 tefachim high. Av sheish b'hem hefsek, even though there are interruptions, obviously. Kasar Rabbeinu Ramam Siv Zayin Lechen Osim Lechem Yisi Tachui Bakoso. That's where you can make a lechi from plaster, which is stuck onto the side of the wall. Say we would use caulking or such like paint. Vachi especially is machi osim mishol. Of course, that it shouldn't be rubbed away or dissolved within, and therefore it's so it's more than 3 tefachim. The base of that lechi of the caulking, whatever it is, should not be more than 3 tefachim away from the ground. V'lav davka sholosh, not specifically 3, obviously, because it has to be less than 3 away from the ground. The meaning pachas mishlosh. Kol lechi shekavah shlosh tefachim in a karka puzzle. Any lechi which is more than 3 tefachim moved from the ground is puzzle. Lechi shem mechitza le. Lechi has a din about mechitza. Mechitza is laying bokim would be a wall through which young kid goats could get through, which renders it puzzle. Near that seat so sheba mamoshes ksasbovio. The plaster has to have a little bit of a thickness to it in it. The Imloki of not have a real could seva it's only like color. Now the truth is that paint which has thickness is also good. Right? The paint which has no thickness obviously has no substitute, would not be good. Says Mordechai Berkav the tzork of the etzba. Mordechai has the chiddush has to be the width, the thickness of a finger. Says Mordechai, Kosar Ben Amir Mashal Sim L'Chaim Misid Mochli it's a pesach that which make L'Chaim from this is from plaster or it's a pesach from plaster. Yovo Sim L'Chulei it's okay. The Aznan B'Chol Sim L'Chaim it says to make a lechi out of anything. Sid Mochli and this dissolved plaster or gafsis another type of material. Shemadabkim also is a chayma when you stick it onto the wall. Koivi etzba thickness of a finger who had beichos it's much stronger than some of the alternatives, like a rope, or kana, or a stick. Should be a dvarav. Explain the Mordechai. That which require the thickness of an etzba. Zeu al chayim. It's going on l'chaim below kaim shetzus besa, but not on the side post of its pesach. It's also clear for the Mordechai the l'chol. The kol lechi ba'in l'chapachas k'chuta sarbo. Any lechi has to be at least the thickness of a chuta sarbo. I'm not sure exactly what the leg thickness of that string is, but that string. Upasha dosim l'chaim mitzid. It's clear, obviously, those make l'chaim from plaster. You should make sure that dogs and pigs don't rub against that wall. Because they remove the bottom of the tvachim from towards the ground. However, so lechi will be off the ground and puzzle. Brackets it says here, but you go to a task you comes out because of the seed anyway. It's a pesach below lechi and jump. That's an amazing, strange thing that the seed only serves the best not for lechi. It's clear. Mordechai Shumas Dashim before Shahavach says the exact opposite. Nowadays, we're not so concerned about pigs and dogs. We're concerned about cars. If a car bumps into a pole which has a lechi, that is a number. That's the number one. But one of the reasons why an Erev can become very easily puzzled. Yurav lechi shasam yatzei sheir kol kosher. There's a famous from Chaim and this famous Maggid Mishnah and the Rambam and the famous from Chaim on the Mishnah, and it's why lechi, which is made from atzei sheir, is kosher. A lechi made, but lechi made of atzei sheir is kosher. Now it's even though kitute mechlat shura, it's as if it's not there. It's as if it's ashes. It's already burnt up, right? Look, even though it's not burnt, it's as if it's burnt. Avogad the korah, it's kosher. Avogad the apostle, even though a beam is puzzle. And because the kitute mechlat shura means that not the substance is not there, but the dimensions are not there. It's what Maggid Mishnah is mahalach. So the Chaim talks about the shear of 10 tefachim is in the rishus, not in the mechitza. The mechitza, which cuts off, defines the area of 10 tefachim, is by definition creates rishus yachid, even though in and of itself it doesn't have, for technical reasons, a shear of 10 tefachim. Okay, but in any event, he says the shear is not required in the lechi. But Korah does have a shear, which is a tefach. Avalechi the divek with shivay shvayin kosher. But lechi made of pieces connected together as kosher. Mali mushu atze sheira. Well, lechi should divek shivay shvayin kosher. By lechi, where you glue different pieces together, it's okay. Mali mashu atze sheira. Who cares if it's atze sheira? The mechta shure, which is if it has no shear. The avgav the shear gava yesh gam lechi eser tvachim. Even though there is a shear of height in a lechi, which is 10 tefachim, can be the obi insert shear, but since the thickness is not required shear, Milson Sutra say it's a minor thing and it's mutar, that's permissible. Besides that, a lechi, even if it's kitute mechtat shura, you can stick those ashes on the wall. But no, what about the fact that share is also by no? It's showing the same mitzvah. It's not direct pleasure here. You're just getting using it for mitzvah. Mitzvah slav and hennas need no mitzvah, so not given for the purpose of pleasure. Therefore, pleasure derived from mitzvah is not considered to be pleasure for this purpose. You base preferably, the lechi should be able to be identified as lechi both for the people inside the mavui and people outside the mavui. That you put its width opposite the length of the mavui. It should stick out a bit. But he doesn't stick out a bit. Only the people who are standing behind the mavui, like they won't realize there's a lechi here. The lechi madip over a koisel and that the lechi is thicker than the wall there to which it adheres, cannot be seen by the people outside. If Yisbush over a coastal, they'll just think that this lechi is the thickness of the wall. But that's near me bifnim, shav mechutz. It looks from the inside, you can see it, from the outside, it looks like it's part of the wall. And there's the opposite scenario as well. We're going to have a lechi which will be seen outside the movie and not inside the movie. Because only its inner edge comes out to the thickness of the wall, perhaps flush to the thickness of the wall, perhaps extending the thickness of the wall, but it's mostly near bachutz. The near ifnim, for a person standing inside the movie, it just looks like it's added on to the length of the wall. Michutz nikar shoynim shachal mi'over koisel tzad yamino. Because the shade is that small from the outside, you can tell because you can see that it's bends and it goes beyond the thickness of the wall. If you whatever. I mean, so kosher if you meet this near b'chutz shom b'ifnim, even though it can't really discern from the inside, it's kosher. Kamla bench near b'ifnim b'shom b'chutz here doesn't matter near b'ifnim b'shom b'chutz or bench near b'chutz b'shom b'ifnim. Neither means shum lechi they're considered l'chayim. But tastes v'rosh pascha the near b'chutz lo mani they say, but you only see it on the outside of the movie doesn't work. Mashnira is saying the fact that people on the sides can see it. It's not efficient. It's not sufficient. She's that people standing outside the movie can see it. Obviously in front of them. Means it's extended outwards, protrudes outwards. And the inner edge of the lechi is hemi l'sfas obi shalachay mavoi. It's flush with the thickness behind the mavoi. Pasha name and nikar now on the inside can't recognize it at all. So the chutz nikar. That doesn't matter because there are some people who see it. The people outside, opposite the open space, nikar shovio and show because they can see that this lechi protrudes out of where the coastal is. Lechi, that's about lechi. Yesho rafanim mazeh. There are other ways of understanding this. The Bishop Mashal Safti Kenikar, what I wrote is the primary understanding. Gimel. He could be a marriage shlosha tvachim. If he lifted it off the ground to be tvachim, psula. It's no good. Shalechi k'mechitza because it's being repetitive here it seems. But lechi is like a mechitza. By going bokimbo, and you can't have the kid goats running under it. If he could be a pachas mishlosha tvachim, but it's less than 3 to the ground kosher because they can't get in. This is true. Even the kana is itself is only 7 plus. But since it's within the ground, it goes down to the ground. We also said already it has to be within 3 tvachim of the wall. Yudad lechi lechi which stands on its own comes into being on its own. Glomar meaning shlomi do shem lechi didn't put it there for the purpose of lechi. El she's dam memela is a siba. It's on its own. So you have the size of a utility pole. You have a conduit. It's kosher. So you have to designate from for Shabbos that's part of your area. We already wrote the have the nihida have a mishum mechitza. Granted that lechi is mishum mechitza, but still, it also has to be heker. If they're not relying on it before Shabbos begins, there's no heker whatsoever, right? But you can assume by default if there's no lechi there that they relied on this one. They designated for before Shabbos. Well, let's say there's no lechi there. For no Shabbos, it fell on Shabbos. If one matter smachas and they want to rely on that fallen lechi, also it's forbidden. It's possible that they didn't rely on this lechi, even there wasn't another lechi there. It's such as Shabbos Tilkul b'Shabbos l'koydem. Previous Shabbos they hadn't carried. So they never considered to be a halachic lechi. Therefore, you have to explicitly rely on it by Shabbos. You must have told the other if you want to carry via it. You lost some with Pharaoh should be in they didn't rely on it from before Shabbos began. It's no good. They can't use it. You can't. Don't ask why if a lechi on Shabbos needed another one. Hooray! Then we all since it's mutter ben hashmashos of Friday, it's mutter the entire day. But this is the reason why when the lechi or korah falls on Shabbos, now to carry the hill can feel as if the walls fell down. Because the fourth wall stands now completely open to Shusarabim, Malakarmos, Vayasim, and $9. Lechi Omemel, Lechi which was raised on its own, Ubali Torah Mavi Baruchva, and it sticks into the Mavi in its width. If it sticks in 4 amos, even though they designate for Shabbos, ain't no need on Mishum Lechi, it's not Lechi, it's a wall. The lechi has to be less than 4 amos, sorry. Vatam reason nation arba amos have a sheer mavi. 4 amos is a sheer mavi in of itself, when she's born. They ain't got heker shul lechi. It's actually better than what I put it, the way I put it. It's not clear it's lechi because it's attached to an area of 4 amos in and of itself. The avgav lechi is because of a wall. Nevertheless, gam heker, but you don't. You also have to have a heker, and the heker only works if you have to. That only works if I guess it's on the area of the mavi which will be matir, which is not separate from the other area. Okay, because mavi say need another lechi here. Put opposite this lechi. Being here to amido etzlo. If I put it over here, yeah, I send them out of make it a little bit thick, or document manner. Thicker than it or thinner than it, so that it's we can see that it's different. In order that it should be heker. That's the lechi. Not just adding to the first one. But mad for him was true. But mother rachel yes amos mother is more than amos wide. A mother shen rachel of el shmon amos, but mother it's only 8 amos or less, obviously. Ain't tzarich lechi achelet. Don't bring another lechi. Api shlo some kolim erev Shabbos. Even though they didn't rely on it for before Shabbos, and neither by Mekapparats. It's mutter because we have made Kipparats. You know, structure and open space in the same proportions. Vayin shalechi shebo arba amos have a kippurutz. The lechi which has the it's in the area of the 4 amos. It's like kippurutz minor devshin. It's like behind that lechi. There's one rishus which is that amos. Oh, but to the other rishus which is the inner area. I have a question. Parts mutter, and that parts. I mean, there's mutter was not seen kodim. Zel belechi omen meal. This is the lechi which turned on son. I will shem do the shame lechi, but they put there for the purpose of lechi. But I feel like arba amos from mavigano. Even when it's 4 amos in a big mavi, there's yesh lo kol. Because everybody knows shem do the shame lechi. They put up purpose of being lechi. The yesh was the hecker, and it's obviously recognizable there. The dafka shem do la lechi. That's only if you set up the lechi. But to rely on lechi doesn't suffice in this scenario. You have to also put it up for that purpose.